Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, see, folks, sampler video series I've been doing for a while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks. I'm not going to lie. I'm occasionally averting my attention because my neighbor, I'm in my driveway. My neighbor's doing something. Window comes up now. Yeah, there we go. But anyway, it's a super simple format, folks. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items. I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm a little bit grody. As you can clearly see, you know, it's because I got off of work. CMC, I'm in my truck, and I'm wearing my grody work clothes. Typically, when those two things coincide, that means I was on my way home from work. I found some shit to review for you. That is definitely the case today. Went over there. I stopped off at Shell Station specifically because this particular Shell Station has, boom, Sprite Tropical Mix, which I am a huge fan of. If you want my full review, I reviewed it, so go look it up. It's there. I'm not lying. But that's obviously not what I'm reviewing today. I went over there and I looked around. And there wasn't, you know, anything particularly interesting to review. But then I got to the front of the counter and I saw something that I haven't seen in quite a while. I haven't had in a really long time. Well, folks, what am I reviewing for you? Let's take it out of the bag. It's a little one. Boom! It is, I don't know how well this is going to come up in the thing. It is Cella's or Cella's. I don't know. It's C-E-L-L-A apostrophe S, Cella's milk chocolate covered cherries. Can I get like a thing? Oh, God, it's bad. Oh no. I'll try, man. I don't know how well it's gonna come up, but whatever. Focus. Whatever. Yeah, man, so I used to eat these when I was a kid. I fucking loved cherries. As a kid, it was probably my favorite fruit until I tried pineapple for the first time, and at that point, all other fruits were unnecessary. But I still love cherries. I love chocolate-covered cherries. I haven't had a chocolate-covered cherry in I don't know how long. So when I saw this, I was like, alright, let's hit it. Let's do some nostalgia-ing. So let's open it up. It's got a sticker on the bottom. Open it up. Maybe this will look better. I don't know. We'll try a thing. Ha 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 ha! That's what it looks like. Ooh, it's chocolatey. Apparently they also have them in dark chocolate, which would be interesting to try, but let's try this one. It tastes like childhood. I love it. I love it. It's just, honestly, the chocolate is almost an afterthought, but you bite into it, you get this nice gush of flavor. It's nice, like, I don't even know what the hell it is, but whatever, like, the fluid is that they go over there and they keep the thing in on the inside, and then you go over there and you get that nice burst of cherry. I love it. But here's the thing. I will say this. Being that I'm older and potentially wiser, I will say this. Being older, there's things that I can take apart that I wouldn't have thought about as a kid. Like, number one, although I do enjoy it, I would not say it's the best representation of a cherry treat. Because you've obviously got the chocolate plus whatever the liquid stuff is. It's a very sweet cherry flavor, and as a result, it's kind of like a maraschino cherry, I think would be like the best way to describe it. Because it's in that format, you're not really getting a lot of actual proper cherry flavor. You know, it's really just kind of like a sweetness, and then a little bit of a burst of a cherry flavor, and then more sweetness. So, while I do enjoy it, and like I said, you know, I do appreciate the fact that, you know, it does taste like memories are supposed to, it kind of falls in line with one of those things where it's like, just the overall nostalgia that childhood in general tends to have, where, you know, you think back on it as like this really fun time, and you don't have responsibilities, and, you know, everything is just simpler, and that's all great. No two ways about it. You know, trust me, I don't want to have to pay bills and dick with taxes and stuff. None of that is fun for me. But when you actually think back to your childhood, and it's like, well, you know, there's some blemishes that aren't quite as spectacular as you remember. And, you know, very few things are as good as you remember them to be. You romanticize them, especially as you get further away from them. That's definitely the case with this. I was going somewhere with this, because I did enjoy it. And like I said, I ate that, and instantly, man, I was transported back to, like, hanging out, you know, with my mom, watching GoBots, you know, on fucking TV, man, with the fucking, I don't even remember the network, but they had their animation train. Love that, man. Like, that's where my brain went to. But when I pull back, it's like, well, I mean, yeah, but it's like, was it that great of a treat? I mean, as a one-off bite, because that's what it is, it was perfectly fine for what it was. But, you know, the chocolate, like I said, was kind of an afterthought. It was there, did its thing, but, you know, it's not particularly great chocolate or anything. And while, you know, I think the whole thing still comes together nicely, I don't want to rag on it like there's, you know, nothing redeeming about it. It is perfectly fine as just the one-off little bite treat. But, being that I am older, I have to admit, like, I would want more, realistically. Like, you know, I got this at a fucking gas station. It's obviously not a premium treat or anything. But, you know, if I was going to go over there, and I was going to get myself, like, a chocolate-covered cherry type of situation, I probably would be willing to go over there, pay a little bit more, get something that's got a little bit more depth of flavor, that isn't solely instant gratification, because that's definitely the case with this. It's very just, boom, you got it, you got the taste, you got the nostalgia hit, you know, if you're me, and then it's just gone, you know. I would like something that's got a little bit more layering to it. But, two questions have to be asked, folks. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes, and kind of. For all the reasons I already stated, it's not, whereas when I was a kid, it was like a favorite treat of mine. Whenever my mom or somebody would go over there and have one and give it to me, it made my day. You know, I loved it. It doesn't do that anymore. It was a nice hit of nostalgia. I enjoyed it. But it's definitely not something I feel compelled to go back to with any regularity. It's one of those things where it's just like, I know if I go to that gas station and I'm feeling in the mood for one, it's there, it's available. It fills that purpose. Beyond that, though, like I said, it wouldn't be the special treat that it used to be for me as a kid. You know, I'm just older, I've had more options, more experiences. There's other things that I enjoy more at this point. As for recommending it, I think it kind of depends. If you're like me and you grew up really enjoying them, there's no reason not to. They're not a bad thing. But I don't think that they're anything spectacular. They're very, you know, like I said, it's just it's a little thing. It happened and then you did it and it's done. But at the same time, it's not bad. I do really have to emphasize that. It's just maybe a little bit underwhelming. But 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your folks. You go over there and have yourselves a truly GoBots-tastic rest of your life, because GoBots is fantastic. And GoBots, I will say this, GoBots is a series that for myself personally, growing up with it as a child, when I finally was able to review it later on, you know, when it finally came out on DVD and shit, by the way, it needs to come out on fucking Blu-ray already, and they need to come out with the movie on DVD or Blu-ray or anything. When I finally did go back to it, I actually was surprised that not only did I still enjoy it, I actually enjoyed it a lot more in certain ways. Like, it actually, my nostalgia for it was very much as a child, and then I got older and I was able to appreciate, like, some of the character work and the writing, even though some of it's, you know, still a hokey kids show from Hanna-Barbera. But but I still love the GoBots. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated, but we can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing to do in the world, not being an asshole. Life can be frustrating, stressful, etc. You know, and a lot of times I kind of make light of that. You know, it's just kind of part of my outro. But it is important to remember, you know, that obviously life really can be that way. It can be extremely stressful, extremely frustrating. And as much as it is fun to go over there and kind of think back to less stressful and less frustrating times in our lives, you know, when we run into situations that put us into duress, it's important we go over there, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you're going to try out some nostalgic treat for you that you haven't had in years. And maybe, for you, it will be perfectly and wonderfully satisfying. And you're like, you know what, this is fantastic. This is the best thing ever. I'm happy I did this. I will continue to do this, and it will be wonderful and amazing. And whilst you do that, maybe go over there and watch some GoBots. Maybe if enough people watch GoBots, they'll finally put out the damn things on Blu-ray, or at the very least, we'll get the movie. Oh, I like GoBots a lot. But anyway, or conversely, hey, maybe you're a Transformers person. Me personally, I was a Transformers person and a GoBots person. Don't ask me to choose. I'm just happy I got fucking shows about transforming robots. Technically, if I'm being a super nerd, GoBots are cyborgs, but... And technically, even though they call themselves robots in disguise, within the continuity of Transformers themselves, they don't see themselves as being robots, because they do technically have a spark, which is effectively their soul of sorts. And that's not mechanical. But anyway. Bye!